Weather Words with Frank Ward is a production of The Reporter, Delaware County's leading news source. This episode of Weather Words with Frank Ward is sponsored by Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton, your one-stop shop for outdoor recreational vehicles. Klinger services all recreational vehicles it sells. Stop in today to see how Klingers can help you enjoy the great outdoors in comfort and in style.
How are you? I thought we would be rid of this. It actually started to melt yesterday, and I said, oh, good. And then I looked at the temperature this morning and looked out there and went, another inch of snow. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But the storm we were all waiting to come on Thursday, it arrived late and it left early. It didn't really start snowing till Friday morning at 2 a.m. But once it started to snow, boy, did it snow. We were getting more than an inch and a half an hour, so by 4 o'clock we had more than 4 inches. By 7 o'clock, we were up to 6. I said, boy, they're going to be wrong on this one. And then it turned to sleet. It wasn't the kind of sleet we're used to. It actually was ice pellets falling out of the sky for the next 3 hours. We got an inch and a half of it. That weighs more than the snow, so what it did is it came down on top of the snow and pushed it down. So it didn't look like the amount that I had originally measured when I called it in at 6 inches to the Weather Service. Well, we ended up getting about 7 or 8 inches of ice and snow. Let me tell you, if you were out shoveling or plowing it on Friday, it hurt when it hit your face. Let's just put it that way. And it wasn't pleasant, okay? Anyway, by afternoon, believe it or not, it was gone. And that was okay. But the bad part about this whole thing was this Arctic cold front that kept saying, it's coming, it's coming, it's going to get cold. Well, actually, we had some snow flurries and things on Saturday. It disappeared. And believe it or not, yesterday wasn't too bad, unless you didn't go outside. It got to 36 in the afternoon, but the wind was blowing so bad that you stepped out in it and it felt like it was below zero out there. I mean, it really wasn't a nice day to be out. But if you have to go out, you do. Okay. And then last night, the temperature started to fall as that real cold air started moving in. When I first got up this morning, it was actually 11. I had my first cup of coffee, went out to do the cows and the goats, and it was already down to 9. By the time I got to the chicken pen, it was 7. Okay, we're back up to 9. Hooray. But you know what? Clear blue skies and sun. And strangely enough, you'll actually watch some stuff melting off your roof and things this afternoon. And it's not because we're going above freezing, because we're not going to get close. We're going to have a high temperature today of maybe 22 or 23. That's cold, okay, especially for this time of year. Tomorrow's March. But what happens, the angle of the sun is such now that it's the angle that actually helps produce the heat. So you're going to get melting off roofs and things. Of course, when it hits the ground, it may not stay melted too long. The rest of the nation all around us is heating up. And that's because the jet stream right now is doing this over the western part of the country. And, no, I have it backwards. It's doing this. Nope, I had it right. This way over the western part and this way over us. When it's this over us, the cold air comes out of Canada. With it going this way in the west, it's bringing all that warm air up from down south. Some of the places that have been seen below zero are going to have temperatures in the next few days of 40s and 50s. We're not going to get there yet. In fact, we won't get there probably till Sunday. When Sunday gets here, that jet stream's going to sort of straighten itself out, and we might get to 50 on Sunday. Good. I really do want to get rid of all this now. But it's only March. Please remember that most of our worst blizzards we've ever had here were the first 2 weeks of March. You know what? If we get past those first 2 weeks, then you can start figuring out where am I going to put the lettuce and where am I going to start doing all those cold weather crops, getting out there and getting ready. But let's get through those first 2 weeks first before we make any kind of conclusions, because this year has been really messed up. Let's put it that way. So I tallied up the month of February, and that's why I'm still holding my notes here, because the rest of you notice I hardly ever look. But a lot of numbers for this month, okay? We had some really, really warm days in February, and we did. We got to 55 and 56 and 54. But we also had some really cold days of minus 14 and minus 8 and whatever. This is the first month I can say when you average the two together, it was exactly on average of where we're supposed to be. So we weren't above, we weren't below. That's not to say you had nice temperatures the whole month, because it wasn't. 23.7 is our average. We ended up with 23.7. That hardly ever happens. But then we get to our precipitation. Normal for the month is 2.85. We're 1/100th away from 4 inches this month. Okay. However, hardly any of it was snow. Most of it was rainstorms. The amount that we got made up for the shortage. We had a little less than an inch short in January. Well, we made that up. We had normal for February, and we're actually above average before March, and it's not here till tomorrow. So we're not short of anything. But for those of you that like snow, it's been a very snowless winter, okay? We ended up with 12.5 inches for this month. Normal's 21.7. So I went back and added up November, December, January, February. And if this were a normal year, we should have a little bit more than 71 inches of snow. Well, let me find it, because it's really disappointing. We're 28 inches short of where we're supposed to be, okay? More than 2 feet below where we are. We're in the 40s, okay? This could end up being one of our most snowless winters. I'll have to wait until it's all done, because I've also shoveled snow in May. So it does happen. I hope not. But it's just been very strange. And normally over there, I hear snowmobiles and things going. I haven't heard a single engine start or anything happen. A couple people in the yards down below went out with their kids around their yards, but it just hasn't been that kind of a winter. We can't help that, and I feel sorry for all the snowmobile clubs. The trails opened, but when there's not enough snow, there's not enough snow. You don't want to be going along and there's a rock sticking out of the snow, and there goes you or the snowmobile or accidents or whatever. We're not done yet. Maybe you'll get it, but it's been a very strange year so far. So stay warm for the rest of this week, and then you can take and probably run around in a t-shirt or maybe a sweatshirt on Sunday when it gets to be 50. And have a really good week ahead of you.
Shop Klinger Power Sports on West Street in Walton today.